everyone. I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April the 28th. On today's show, we'll look to another Academy class of artistry, this time about paper sculpture. And we'll see another clip from last week's Summer Memories variety show. But first, we want to remind you that tonight is the Southwest Florida Handbell Ensemble. The renowned 15-person ensemble will perform a collection of spiritual hymns. It will be a one-of-a-kind experience in the Social Center at 6:45, and that is tonight. Don't forget that tomorrow is the Flavors of Matlacha Island Tour. It's a delightful historical, public art, ecological, and tasting adventure. Matlacha's salty past, with signature tastes of a cracker-style fishing village, now turned artist colony, will certainly be a delight for all. Lunch at the Matlacha Old Fishing House Marina and the sweets of the CW Fudge Factory are just too tempting to pass up. The cost for the trip is $22 with lunch on your own. Court pickups begin at the island at 8 a.m. with approximate return time of 2 p.m. You know, an ordinary piece of paper is not very exciting in itself, not much to look at. But once you turn that flat piece of paper into a three-dimensional object, suddenly it becomes interesting. The Academy class on paper sculpture can teach you how to turn paper into art. Here's Terry Colath with more.
Hi everyone, I'm Terry Colath, and I'm here today with June Lockhart of Harbor Court and Mr. Piggy. Thank you for joining me, June.
Well, I'm happy to do it.
Well, we're going to talk about your class, Paper Sculpture, and you've brought someone with us.
Well, my friends do like to come. Yeah.
So when you talk about paper sculpture, this is kind of the one extreme of what you can do, because just like you do with your ceramics and your sculpture, you've injected some life into this paper.
Well, I hope.
Was it fun?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, teaching the paper sculpture course, you're going to start with a one-dimensional piece of paper. You're going to show how people can do a number of things.
We're going to start with puppets.
Okay.
Yay! And you see, we can make all kinds. All we need for a costume is a man's hanky, and they don't use them anymore. And see?
Oh, she's lovely.
Yes.
Oh.
See? So we'll show how you can take paper and make form and use the puppet as a means of showing that. So everybody will be able to make puppets and show their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren how to make puppets.
Fabulous. So what I just appreciate so much is this plain flat piece of paper, because of the way you'll teach us to cut and fold.
Right.
Will turn into a face or whatever.
Whatever. You can make absolutely anything out of a flat piece of paper if you try hard enough.
Well, that's amazing. Let's talk about some of the other things that you can make out of a flat piece of paper, because I love when you open your portfolio over there.
Well,
people may have gone into the Shell Point gift shop and seen these amazing greeting cards.
Yes.
I think they're collector's items.
And we're going to show people how to make those.
An eagle, a little mouse,
Yes.
a giraffe,
Yes.
and my favorite, the angel.
Well, the thing is, you can make things that are flat, like the puppet, or you can make. Oh, there's another flat thing.
A beautiful mask.
See, you can make a mask to hang on a wall, depending what you have available. I started making these because I had a husband who traveled, so he had his shirts done in the laundry, and they all had shirt boards. So that's a shirt board, and that's a shirt board.
You look at something and say, what can I make out of it?
Right.
If you have talent, that's a wonderful thing to do.
So we go from making the little puppets, then we will make masks, and then the next time I will show them how to go all the way around instead of just flat in the front.
All the way
back.
Around.
Yeah, so you can make complete people, and you can make them small, or you can make them large. And then the last class, we'll learn how to make the small things and make a pattern, put it on the computer so we can reproduce it.
So it's like the patterns you sew with. You can cut out the pattern.
Correct.
Fabulous.
Actually, I would be very wealthy if I'd gone into clothing design instead of paper sculpture.
But you know, we would have missed so much here at Shell Point if you had done that. We're delighted that you went into pottery and moved on into paper sculpture, and it's fabulous. It's fabulous. In fact, one of the things I admire about you so much is that you take it to the next level. You've taken these beautiful ceramic pieces and said, what else can I do? And made these tiny little pots, beautiful tiny little pots, and taking it, folding a piece of paper into something that we can give to our friends and family to share at a birthday or an anniversary or a holiday, a beautiful little card. It must be wonderful to be able to have a talent and then have the fun of extending it. Well, you know you'll have a good time if you take paper sculpture with June Lockhart of Harbor Court. And in addition to that, you will learn how to manipulate paper in a whole new way. Join her.
You know, talking about paper and art class kind of reminds me of some of the school supplies I used to get every summer just before heading back to class, which also reminds me of the School Supplies Fund Drive here at Shell Point. There are just 2 more days left in the fund drive, so we thought we'd revisit Melody Desilets and her charming son, Bradley, to talk about the drive along with resident Dorothy Erickson.
Hi Shell Point, I'm Melody Desilets here today with a special guest, Dorothy Erickson from Nautilus, and my very own son, Bradley Morrison, and we are here to talk about the School Supply Fund Drive. Dorothy, can you tell me when this is happening?
It starts on April the 16th and it runs through the month until the 30th.
Excellent. So can you give our viewers a little insight? What is this fund drive for?
Yeah, it's a fund drive to raise money to buy supplies that our employees' children and grandchildren need when they go to school. The schools give out these long lists of things they expect the children to have, and it can be quite daunting for the parents to supply that.
Okay, so what you say these bags, what are we looking, how many bags do we want to fill?
We want to fill 650 bags, which is actually the same number as last year, but this year we would really like to be able to put more things into each bag.
Okay, would you describe what goes into the bags?
Oh my, there's all kinds of notebooks, there's crayons, colored pencils, scissors, erasers, glue sticks, bags to put their things in, pencils. I'm sure there's more, and right now my mind's drawing a blank, Melody.
What ways can our residents give to this fund drive?
Okay, we want money because that way we buy the supplies, we get a discount, and every bag has the same thing in it. Whereas if you ask for donations of supplies, there's no continuity. They can give by check or by cash, and there will be a box on each service desk in the Woodlands and at the island. And all contributions are tax deductible.
Excellent. So how would our residents make out their checks if they choose to do it that way?
Okay, and that is actually the preferred way because then we have the name. If they give cash, they have to put a sign on with their name if they want a receipt. They make the check out to the Shell Point School Supply.
Now, Dorothy, I know we're doing this fund drive fairly early for the school year. When does distribution take place?
We give the supplies out in the middle of July because that's when most of the stores are talking about school supplies.
Now, you had mentioned that the school supply is for children and grandchildren of Shell Point employees. How would a family qualify?
Well, we work with the Human Resources Department because a lot of our employees have a lot of input into their grandchildren. They're either responsible for them or they help support them financially. And it's for children in grades K, kindergarten, through grade 5.
So Dorothy, do you have anything to say to our residents to really encourage them for the school supply fund drive this year?
Well, all I can say is that last year when we passed them out, everyone was extremely appreciative. And I think it's a wonderful way for us as residents to show the employees how much we appreciate all they do for us, in addition to the Christmas fund that we do.
Well, Shell Point, being an employee with my own little son who's not quite school age yet, it's a great example of the employees that we have here at Shell Point. And for you, we are so thankful and so grateful for your generosity. The school supply drive takes place from April 16th through April 30th. You can donate through either service desk, and if you make a checkout, it's to the school supply fund drive. Thank you so much for all that you do for us. We so appreciate you.
Last week's Summertime Memories variety show was another fun-filled evening with the usual hijinks from the hosts and the promised variety of entertainment. Yvonne Schneff of Sundial graced us with a number that was ideal for the evening's theme, summertime and the livin' is easy. Introduced, of course, by the squabbling siblings, Daisy and Morty.
I'm so excited, Morty! We're at the beach, and the sun is so bright.
I think I'm going to get a sunburn out here.
Oh, Marty, and look at the sand.
The sand? I think I already got some in my shorts.
Morty, come on. The water is so beautiful.
You know that water's full of salt, don't you? It stings my eyes.
But you know what?
What?
There's going to be boys here.
You know what? I think there's going to be bugs here.
But did I mention? I think there's going to be boys here.
Gonna be boys here, brother.
Come on, Morty. It's summertime, and the living is easy.
Easy for you to say. I had to haul all this junk from the car, and it's hot out here.
Well, I guess I do just have this one little bucket. But it's summertime and the living is easy. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Yvonne Schneff and Jazz and Stuff with Summertime and the Living is Easy.
Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna wake up a-singing, and you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, ain't nothing can harm you. With Mammy and Daddy standing by. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping baby, don't you cry.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and I'm here to tell you about the activities that we're going to offer through Resort Services here today. Our first activity is a Health Connections class at 7:15. We have Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's down in the Health Club. It's $5 per class. No sign up is required. At 8 o'clock, pickleball will be at the pickleball court. Also at 8 o'clock, we have the round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. The stamp ministry will be at the stamp room in the Island Tunnel at 8:15. The bocce players will be at the bocce court at 8:30. That's at the Woodlands. Also at 8:30, we have the Ladies Golf Association at the Shell Point Golf Club. And we have open painting in the art studio at 9:15. Also at 9:15, we have shuffleboard. That's down in the shuffleboard courts. Match play mixed doubles tennis is at the Woodlands tennis courts at 9:30. And then our Suzy Q boat goes out at 10 o'clock. They're going to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant on Pine Island to stay. From 10 until 12, the photo gallery and studio is available for viewing down in the tunnel. At 10:15, we have the Through the Bible study group. They'll be in the Osprey room on the island. At 11:45, we have the Life Quest Living Healthy group in the Osprey room. Now we're going to continue into the afternoon where at 12:30 you'll find Mixed Progressive Bridge. That'll be in the game room of the Woodlands. We have a Health Connections class at 1 o'clock, Fitness Room Orientation. That's in the Health Club. 1:15, we have the Knitters group in the Osprey room on the island. The Rollicking Recorderists will be down in the Tarpon room at 1:15. And also at 1:15, we have the Women's Ministries Prayer group in the Hospitality room of the Village Church. At 1:30, we have the COPD support group in the Oak room of the Woodlands. We have a Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch at the LifeQuest Aquatic Center at 1:30. Also at 1:30, we have the Stamp Ministry. This time it'll be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. The photo gallery and studio will be open in the tunnel from 2 to 4 for viewing. At 2:15, the library book talk will be in the Social Center on the island. At 2:45, we have a Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2. Session A, that's in the Health Club and it's currently full. At 3:15, the Celebration Ringers rehearsal will be in the choir room of the Village Church. And at 4 o'clock, we have another Health Connections class, Venus Insufficiency. That'll be in the Grand Cypress room of the Woodlands. You do need to sign up for that. At 4:15, it's the Health Connections class, Tai Chi Cha. That's in the Health Club. That's currently full. And the Southwest Florida Handbell Ensemble will be in the Social Center at 6:45, and that's our last Tuesday activity. We're sure glad to see you here today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is portobello chicken breast with orzo pilaf and fresh green beans. The dinner special is build your own stir fry for $13.95, and the soup of the day is chicken and white bean chili. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a chili cheeseburger with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is baked pork with sautéed mushrooms, mashed potatoes, and mixed vegetables for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are New York Strip for $19.95 or crab cakes for $16.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins. I'm the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here to speak to you about a psalm which is, in fact, about our speech. You know, our words matter, and how we speak to each other says a lot about who we are and about who we think we're talking to. And it's always good to be reminded that if we're talking to another human being, regardless of who they are and what they may represent, that we're talking to someone who bears the image of God. And that's why Paul tells the Colossians, let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how you should respond to each person. Concern for speech is also characteristic of the Old Testament. Psalm 12 is a psalm of David, which is primarily concerned with speech, and it has a very contemporary ring to it. First, David is discouraged by the climate of speech that he sees around him. He's so demoralized that, judging from the kind of words he hears all of the time, he concludes that godly people have ceased to exist. He says in verse 1 of Psalm 12, "Help, Lord, for the godly man ceases to be, for the faithful disappear from among the sons of men." Then he links this conclusion with the nature of the speech that he hears on a daily basis. He says in verse 2, "They speak falsehood to one another, with flattering lips and with a double heart they speak." And so David identifies three types of speech in that verse. Falsehood literally means emptiness. In some translations, it is rendered lies, but the concept includes so much more. It refers to vain speech, meaningless speech, speech that multiplies words but says nothing. Flattery is speech that tries to impress someone, but behind it is an ulterior motive. This is speech designed to get something in return. And a double heart is what we would today say is speaking out of both sides of our mouths. Now, each of those kinds of speech proliferates in our own world today. Empty speech is characteristic, for instance, of sitcoms on television. That speech is frequently degrading and disrespectful, but most often it's simply meaningless. Flattery is often used to sell pretty much anything, and doublespeak fills the political landscape. So David calls down condemnation of God on such speech. He says in verse 3, "May the Lord cut off all flattering lips, the tongue that speaks great things, who have said, with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord over us?" Those who major in such speech are self-promoters. The tongue that speaks great things, the text says. They are those who consciously use their speech to get what they want, with absolutely no moral compass. They say, our lips are our own. Who is Lord over us? Perhaps we can see through these smoke and mirrors and recognize the kind of speech for what it is, but unfortunately, many are susceptible to its effects. It is destructive speech, especially to those who are most vulnerable. And that's why David continues, "Because of the devastation of the afflicted, because of the groaning of the needy, now I will arise, says the Lord. I will set him in the safety for which he longs." Well, not only do we hear such speech, and not only do the vulnerable hear such speech, God hears it as well. And David is confident that God will judge those who think they can do whatever they want with their words. But Psalm 12 offers an alternative, a different kind of speech. Words that tell the truth, words that recognize that those who hear them are made in the image of God. And these are words that come from God. Verse 6 of Psalm 12 says, "The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace on the earth, refined 7 times. You see, there is no dissimulation with God, no empty words, no flattery, no doublespeak, only pure, unadulterated speech, trustworthy speech, edifying speech. And those who hear those words will be preserved from the effects of the vain, insipid speech which so litters our world. Verse 7 of the psalm says, "You, O Lord, will keep them. You will preserve him from this generation forever." I trust that you will be of those who allow the Word of God to be the verbal atmosphere in which you live, the very air that you breathe. That the Word of God will be the barometer that allows you to sort through the cacophony of sound and enables you to discern truth from falsehood, ulterior motive from genuine compassion and concern. That Word was David's lifeline, even though his culture was so degraded in its speech. We live in a degraded culture in so many ways, and what we hear by way of words through the media and other people is often just simply empty and meaningless or disrespectful. I trust that you would respond to this psalm and be the kind of speaker who upbuilds others and finds you to be engaged with people, recognizing that everyone to whom you speak is a person made in the image of God, and that our speech ought to represent those dispositions. May God bless each and every one of you, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks for watching Shell Point Today. Join us again tomorrow when we'll visit the watercolor group down in the Island Tunnel to discover the wonderful paintings they are creating. And we'll head over to the Island Guest House to learn about making your reservations early for those out-of-town guests who come to visit you. And we'll see another clip from last week's Summer Memories variety show. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, April 28th. I'm Dan Philgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.